everyone, welcome back to Retropiece Theatre. Heather here, playing through King's Quest VI. Last time we went around Ali's bookshop.
Old lamps for new.
And here goes the beggar guy again.
Old lamps for new.
And this time, we're gonna go into the pawn shop. I love the pawn shop owner. He's a cool guy.
Good day.
I love him so much. Just like in the bookshop, you can look around here, and there's a lot of neat things here in the pawn shop, and there are several references to previous games, which is kind of nice as well.
Towering mightily over the other pawn shop curiosities, the stuffed bear makes an ostentatious display.
I wonder who killed and then stuffed a bear.
The back wall of the shop holds various odds and ends. For example, a hull hole detector for finding those hard-to-spot holes in small sailboats. Cat cookie mix. Play tricks on your friends, the box says. A golden bridle finder for finding those nearly invisible golden bridles.
That was something you had to find in the previous game. You can't take anything here around the shop.
Several half-burnt wax candles have been placed among the other pawn shop items. They probably light the shop at night.
And then all these
bottles. The back wall of the shop holds various bottles and potions. For example, a bottle labeled Owl Courage Potion for spineless owls.
In King's Quest V, your companion is an owl named Cedric, who is definitely spineless. But let's talk to the pawn shop owner here.
Good day, merchant. What can you tell me about the land of the Green Isles?
I can tell you she is in a dark time. Without the ferry, communication between the islands has ground to a halt, and so nearly has my business. Why the long ages of peace have ended, and why the crown has not done something about it is beyond me. But then, I am a shopkeeper, not a politician, and can only hope for better days.
How abide you, good merchant?
Quite well, though a purchase would not hurt me any.
Well, let's see what's on the table here.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
I see you have noticed my mechanical nightingale. She is made of plain tin, but she sings the sweetest song you can imagine, barely distinguishable from the real thing. The flute is only made of plain wood, but its notes are fine and true. Ah, yes, the painter's brush. It was well used by one of the island's best painters. There's a lot of creativity in that brush, and its bristles are still in good condition. Have you an interest in tinder boxes? This one is only slightly battered. It holds a good supply of flint, a sturdy striking pad, and even a candle in case you find yourself with naught else to hold the flame.
Now, these 4 items, you will need each one of them if you want to complete the game. I think only 3 of them are needed for the short ending, but all 4 of them are needed for the long ending. Let's see. Let's see if we can take anything here.
Alexander takes a closer look at the items on the counter.
So if we try to say take the nightingale.
I'm interested in that mechanical nightingale on the counter.
What do you desire to give me in trade? The items on the front counter are all of equally slight value, worth only a copper or 2. They are handy items nonetheless.
Well, as it so happens, we have a copper. But we don't really know sort of which one of these items we need just yet. So let's head out of here and explore the rest of the island. Ali said there was a dock out to the west, so let's see if we can find it. Oh, I love the music here. Let's see what we got over here.
There's a young girl in the yard. The girl is dressed in a long, plain orange robe with a thick headdress. From the appearance of her clothes and from a skittish, fearful look about her, Alexander gets the strong impression that she is a servant, or even worse, a slave. The serving girl appears to be stealing a quiet moment tending the rose bushes. Red roses beautifully cover the top of the house's fence and gate arbor.
Oh, look at all the roses.
You lazy thing! Get back to work and stay away from those roses! I've told you 1,000,000 times, those flowers are too sweet for the likes of you!
Man.
You've still got to do the breakfast dishes, make lunch, and clean the stables yet this morning! And get your veil back on! No one wants to look at your face!
Yes, stepmother.
Well, that must be a healthy household to grow up in. There's not really anything we can do here, so let's keep going. Poor girl.
Hey, stranger, come join me. The water is wonderful, and I can show you the way to the next island.
Well, who's it?
A young boy is happily swimming in the sea off the docks.
Well, let's talk to
Come on, jump in. A little water won't hurt you.
him.
Good day. I'm Alexander. What are you doing in the sea?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm swimming. I mean, come join me. The water's wonderful. I can show you the way to the next island.
Well, let's save. Because as I mentioned, there are lots and lots of ways to die. So let's go for it.
Considering the poor condition of the shore, it looks like the easiest way to get into the water is just to jump off the pier.
That's what I was trying to do. There we go.
The powerful currents grab Alexander. Struggle as he might, he feels himself being pulled out to sea.
No.
Not a very good swimmer, are you?
Oh, shut up.
Help me!
Sorry, I think not.
As his head submerges for the third time, Alexander finds himself pondering the wisdom of going out on a limb for a stranger.
Tickets up. Next.
Alexander couldn't handle those currents. That boy must be an unbelievably strong swimmer.
Must be. So let's go back.
What are you waiting for? I said I'd show you how to get to the next island, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, if we watch this boy very closely... Nope.
That's strange. The young boy in the water just disappeared. Oh well, perhaps he just dove under the water.
Yeah, that's totally what happened. Let's go knock on this door here on the ship.
Yeah, what do you want?
Talk to you.
Alexander promises himself that he will not go home until he has determined what Casima's feelings are for him, and if she needs his help.
Yeah, it's a little annoying at this part because you have to get the talk bubble right on the ferryman and not on yourself. So it can be a little tricky.
Excuse me.
Here we go.
My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see
Yeah, if
why.
you don't talk
The ferry's
to
not
Ollie
running,
first,
you know.
the ferryman won't
I
speak to you.
understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Pro tip.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside.
All right.
What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the
put the
island's
crown on
only
Alexander's
ferry been
head.
dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map.
Magic map?
The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Let's see if he has anything else to say.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands.
Aw, that's nice.
I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job. The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite
we
sure
did.
that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Tell me more about Princess Cassima.
Ah, such a beautiful child, and so pure of heart. Why, a contrary thought has never crossed her mind. Her mother was the same. The king and queen. They served the islands, not the other way around. Always thinking about the people. They are sorely missed.
What else can you tell me about the land?
Let's see. The Isle of Wonder's a lovely spot. A bit crazy, mind you. Gotta have a good sense of humor to enjoy a tour there.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The Isle of the Beast is pretty, but unfortunately, you can't get very far onto the island.
What else can you tell me about the land?
The inhabitants of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain are the most gorgeous creatures you'll ever see. If you ever get to see them, that is.
What else can you tell?
The Castle of the Crown sure is a beauty. She's the finest palace ever built, I'll warrant.
What else can...
Some say that the land of the Green Isles is near the edge of the world, and that the deadly currents are a result of a magnetism that sucks life from this world to the next. Of course, that's just silly talk.
Man, the more I hear about this place, the creepier it becomes.
What else can...
Let's see.
Yeah, after that, he just starts repeating himself. We're gonna do one last thing before we stop here, and we're gonna pick up this little guy
There's nothing of interest on that.
right here.
I see you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
Alright. Well, we're done talking to the ferryman.
Well, I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
posh. Not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
And here we are. Alright guys, next time on Retropiece Theatre, we're gonna investigate some of that magic map that the ferryman was talking about. Thanks so much for listening and for watching, and we'll see you next time.